Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, folks, Big Paul here. I'm going to take you grocery shopping with me today. You're going to see what it's like to shop as a bodybuilder. We're headed into the Harris Teeter. I like to do my grocery shopping at night when there's nobody at the grocery store. That is the best time to go, in my experience. There's nobody here. I don't look like a fool. We're headed in. Let's see here, Harris Teeter. It's right by my house. I'm lucky I have this really close. I'm with my daughter. We usually go grocery shopping together. So I'm going to pick up a few things. Start off in the produce section here. I like to have bananas with my meal. Usually my pre-workout meal I'll do a banana with, or my post-workout meal. Bananas have a fair amount of potassium in them. I think something like 450 milligrams. Other fruit that I like to get, I get Granny Smith apples. They're good for contest prep. A whole Granny Smith apple, and I'll chop them up, and it's actually less than that, but one whole Granny Smith apple has something like 15 to 20 grams of carbs. So it's very low calorie. Like when the carbs get low, I like to do that. I like fruit a lot. I don't do a ton of vegetables. I do some vegetables. I'll get some baby spinach here. It's about the only vegetable that I do tolerate well is spinach. Otherwise, most vegetables tear me up. Once in a while, I'll do some mushrooms and some onions and peppers, but I still have to be careful with that stuff. Guacamole is another thing I do. I get these mini packs of holy guacamole. I don't need any today, but I'm just going to show you. Justin does added fat per meals, and he usually does 10 grams. Justin Harris, my coach, he usually does 10 grams of added fat. But you can see these holy guacamole packs. They're exactly 10 grams. They're already measured out. I don't even need to think about it. It goes really good on the ground beef, or if I do steak, I'll get like a really lean steak. So they work really well for that. My daughter's with me. She's hiding. She doesn't want to be on camera. But that is another thing that I will do. All right, we're getting some meat now. I'm lucky there's grocery stores right by my house. I can walk here. So I come every couple days. I'll make my food for fresh every couple days. But I get 95%, or actually 96% lean ground beef. You can see here, Harris Teeter. This 96% ground beef, 4 ounces of it, only has 4 grams of fat and 25 grams of protein. So 8-ounce serving of this is 50 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat. I don't count the fat that's in the meat, but I try to keep my meat sources very lean. That's the only higher fat meat source that I'll do during the day. The rest of my protein comes from chicken breast. Usually I'm gonna get a pack of chicken breasts. I'll make these up as well. I'm actually stocked up on chicken breasts, but I get these big jumbo packs for you dummies that are buying chicken and paying. They talk about how they can't find cheap chicken. You got to get the big packs, and a lot of times I can find them for $2.69, even $1.99. Sometimes they'll be on sale. Right now they're not on sale, so I still have probably a day or two worth of chicken left at home. I'm not going to get any today. I'm good to go here. I get these meal prep meals, and I'll have these occasionally. Looks like they're absolutely fucking crushed. I don't know what the hell happened to these, but Kevin's, these Korean barbecue ones, I'll do them every once in a while, pre-workout. 3.5 grams of fat per serving, and they have 20 grams of carbs. I don't know what the heck happened to these. These got absolutely annihilated. But those are, I'll do those as well for a pre-workout meal. Pickles are another contest prep favorite of mine, and so is sauerkraut. I get Bubby's sauerkraut. It is a fermented sauerkraut. It has really no calories in it. It's essentially the same thing as calorie-free. And pickles, I get these Grillo pickles. These things are freaking awesome. These pickle slices from Grillo's, another 0-calorie snack that you can get. All right, folks, I want to take a quick break from this episode to tell you about the new e-course that Kurt Havens and I have put together, The Scientific Principles of Anabolics and PEDs. This is the most comprehensive PED e-course ever put together, with over 80 modules, including intros to PEDs, major steroid profiles, competitor off-season cycles, non-competitor cycles, contest prep cycles, HGH fundamentals, insulin fundamentals, side effect management, safer use concepts, fat loss agents, estrogen management, and advanced PED and hypertrophy science. It is the best course out there of its kind. Go check it out. Link is in the video description below. I need some stuff for carbs. I've been doing oatmeal, instant oatmeal for breakfast. I found that instant oatmeal actually digests a lot better than whole oats. I used to do whole oats. I used to be a zealot for doing whole oats, but I found that these instant oatmeals actually digest better and don't upset my stomach the way the whole oats do. They have low calorie ones. They have these low sugar ones that have monk fruit in them. I'm trying to find them. Here you go. Quaker has these. The monk fruit ones versus the regular ones, they have a few less grams of carbs, not a whole lot. It's actually not as significant as you would think. That one's 21 grams per serving as my carbs get lower. And then the full sugar ones are 27 per serving. See, people don't look at the labels. There's really not a huge difference. So if you want a little bit of sugar, you can have it. So it's only 6 grams more carbs per serving. It's not a significant difference. So I get some of those. I also, for my fat sources, my added fats on top of the guacamole, I will do some olive oil. I just bought some the other day. I get the extra version organic. You got to be careful with olive oil because a lot of olive oil, where it's like crappy, you want to get the cold pressed stuff and you want it in a dark bottle. It's a trick I learned. The dark bottle stuff doesn't go rancid. Like you'll see these ones that come in the clear bottles. From what I understand, you don't want the ones in the clear plastic bottles. You want the dark glass bottles for your olive oil. So pay a little extra and get those. I like chopped walnuts as well. Let's see if I can find these chopped pecans. Where are you, chopped walnuts? I do chopped walnuts for my added fats on my oatmeal. If I can find the, where's the bigger packs? Oh, yeah, here they are. The bigger packs of chopped walnuts. There's other nut choices. Sometimes I'll do almonds, but chopped walnuts have a better fat profile. We want to get most of our fats from added EFAs and keep the fats low from the meat sources, because the majority of fats that you're going to get from meat sources are going to be saturated fats, unless you're doing something like salmon. That's a solid choice if you want to do salmon, but salmon has quite a bit of fat in it, so as you get deeper in contest prep, that's something that's probably not going to be an option. I'm trying to find it here. I've been doing this light salt lately. Morton says light salt. It's right here. So the light salt already has 50% less sodium. It has magnesium in it. So if you actually look at the breakdown of it, I think it's something like, so this one has, potassium has 350 milligrams of potassium in it and 280 sodium, and then it has some magnesium in it as well. So it's a better alternative for your sodium source, and you can, that way you get your potassium in without having to think about it. I got a high day coming up, so I'm going to need to think about what I want for my high day carb sources. I always give myself 2 junk carb sources on my high days. All right, I am a child here. I'm going to get some candy. I'm not sure if I want to go with Skittles or Swedish Fish this time. You want to check the sugar source on the candy. You don't want stuff that has high fructose corn syrup. If you want to get a candy source for the high carbohydrate day, I always look for either corn syrup, which is just glucose, not high fructose corn syrup, or you can get stuff that just has straight glucose in it. Like I think the gummy bears, specifically the Haribo brand, if you look at the ingredients on these, this has glucose syrup. So essentially what you would put in your post-workout, I'm sure every bro knows this by now. That's why bros love gummy bears. But corn syrup is glucose, essentially glucose too. So I'm probably just going to go with the Swedish Fish. They've been my go-to lately for my candy. And then I'll do a serving of breakfast cereal, probably the best breakfast cereal to go with for, once again, you want to check the ingredients again. So if you look at Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger, the ingredients in here, this one is, it's malted corn, sugar, malt flavor. So it's pretty simple ingredients, and it is fortified. It's iron fortified. I know the bros get worried about the extra iron. I think the extra iron in these fortified stuff is going to make the hematocrit go through the roof. It's not the fucking Anadrol you're taking. That's not the issue, or the equipoise. But Frosted Flakes are straight carbohydrates. There's no fat in Frosted Flakes. But we want to keep our carb sources. This fucking box is broken. Everything's here is broken. The delivery guys must have been tossing shit like they were playing football. Colin was telling me about the rice checks, the maple honey, or I think it was maple sugar. I don't know what it was. I want to see if I can find those. There's honey nuts, maple brown sugar. Let's see what these look like. These are straight corn. And yeah, these are 1 gram of fat for 37 grams of carbohydrates. So these are low fat as well. I'm going to try these out as my cereal for my high day. All right, next up, I like orange juice as well. I'll have a serving or 2 of orange juice a day for the vitamin C. And plus, I just like orange juice. I have a hard time choking down all the carbs sometimes. So I'll use some orange juice. I get the Simply Orange pulp-free because I'm a child and I find pulp gross. Yes, I am that kid. So I get the pulp-free. This has no added ingredients other than sugar. People worry about fructose making you fat. Fructose is not going to make you fat. And I think proportionally, it's a 2-to-1 sugar to fructose ratio in oranges as well. So we're talking about, and this has 23 grams of total sugars in it. So it's probably going to be something, I'm trying to do the math off the top of my head, something like 15 or 16 grams of sugar to like 6 or 7 grams, probably like 16 to 7, something like that. So it's not really a lot of fructose in there anyway. And fructose gets, from what I recall how the process works in the body, fructose gets stored as liver glycogen and then converted to glucose if needed. So I could be off on that, but that's what I recall. But from what I recall, it's going to occupy the liver glycogen, so any glucose is going to be stored preferentially as glucose. So don't worry about the fructose. It's not going to be the end of the world. Another thing I add in my diet is I get a fat-free Greek yogurt, the Faye Total. I get the Total Zero. It's again to keep my fats low. I add this in for probiotics and for calcium. So we have a little bit of calcium in here as well. It's a natural food source for that. My bigger items like rice, I buy that at Costco in 25-pound bags or sometimes 50-pound bags. I get that there. Sometimes I get my nuts there too because the nuts are cheaper. I do like almonds. I usually get the Blue Diamond almonds. They have the wasabi almonds that I like. I'll do those for a meal or two. I do some nut butters as well. Now and then for my added fats. You got to be careful with the nut butters and look for the ones that have the added palm oil. I try to avoid palm oil. I am a child and I like 0-calorie sodas. So I'm going to drink 1 or 2 0-calorie sodas. People worry about the 0-calorie sodas making them fat. That's the least of your worries as far as making you fat. I am going with the A&W Zero root beer today. I love these A&W Zeros. I don't know why people they'll take Tren made in somebody's fucking bathtub and they're worried about drinking a 0-calorie soda and the artificial sweeteners. I think that's the least of your worries. Having 1 or 2 of these a day is not gonna kill you. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Oh, another thing that I like to get regularly is I get these little Smoochies mandarins. There's one of these is like 10 grams of carbs. So another source of vitamin C. I love my fruit. I'm a fruit junkie. So I do get fruit in my diet as much as I can. Ringing these crushed Kevins up. Oh, come on, you fucker. 2501. Oh, come on. I didn't request help, but I guess it's on the way. All right, folks, that is the total run. I think that was about, I don't know what that came up to, like 120 bucks. Groceries are expensive. My daughter got a couple things, but I probably spend, I don't know off the top of my head, somewhere in the $250 to $300 a month, or a week, not month, $250 to $300 a week range on groceries. That's just what it costs to be a bodybuilder. People are all concerned about the cost of the drugs for bodybuilding and coaching. That's not the expensive part. Eating food is the expensive part. Now, you can do it cheap. I have a video up on bodybuilding on a budget. If you keep chicken as your primary source of protein, you can do things pretty cheaply. It's not that expensive to eat if you do it intelligently, but you can do chicken and rice for pretty cheap. Rice is probably the cheapest thing we eat, and you can do chicken pretty cheap. Whey protein powder is really pretty cheap per serving. You're not going to be eating organic steaks, that's for sure. So there are some trade-offs. There are some trade-offs to eating like this. And get in the Tesla here, you guys. My Model S, I love this car. It's an awesome car. And we'll let it drive us home. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, folks. Now you have an idea of what it's like to go to the grocery store with Big Paul. Take care. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.